Today we are doing something called day tripping. We left from Chicago this morning at 6 o'clock. We just got in San Francisco local time at 8:30. We have about 14 hours because our flight goes back at around midnight tonight. So we're gonna see everything that we possibly can in San Francisco
and show you what this historic city has to offer. Let's get day tripping.
When you think San Francisco, you think two things, well, maybe three. You think Full House, number one, Rice-A-Roni, the San Francisco treat, number two, and then the Golden Gate Bridge. We started our trip out to the Golden Gate Bridge, and we're doing that from a little place called Chrissy Field. Chrissy Field used to be home of the indigenous people that lived here. They would use it as hunting grounds because it was a big salt flat. They would hunt for different types of small games. Obviously, there's a bunch of fishing that they would do, and they would basically spend so much of their time here. Now, later it became an important military spot because as you can see, we're very close to the water. And in World War II, they trained Japanese interpreters to go over to the island hopping campaign in Japan. This is where all that happened, but now it's just kind of a place where people take their dogs so they can shit or do whatever dogs need to do out in the sand, and then you just kick it over like some kitty litter. But we need to get closer to the Golden Gate Bridge, so we're gonna do that right now. All right, our first stop after coming in for a little bit of day tripping in Chicago. As you can see, it's the beautiful Golden Gate Bridge. Construction started here in 1933 and it ended about 5 years later. It cost $35 million whenever they built it. The color that you see and what makes it special, me and Sammy were talking about on the way in, nobody cares if this bridge is gold or if it's gray, but now it's called International Orange, so you can see it through the fog, you can see it through bad conditions. They paint it year round. Whenever they were building it, because it's so high, they constructed this huge net and it saved lives. People would fall in, the iron workers would fall into the water, so they put this huge net up. The cables around the Golden Gate Bridge, if you took all the different strands across, they'd be 80,000 miles, which wraps around the world about 7 or 8 times. It's absolutely huge, it's massive, and it's one of the best engineering feats that the world has ever seen. It's the fucking Golden Gate Bridge, and you can see it from a day trip in Chicago. Let's go to the next location.
Golden Gate Park in San Francisco is home to 3 beautiful displays of nature: a Japanese tea garden, flower conservatory, and a botanical garden.
All right, we are gonna head into the Japanese tea garden right now. It's only 11 o'clock, and so we're going to check out our third location. I'm feeling pretty good about it. The Japanese tea gardens are supposed to be beautiful. There's a flower conservatory too. Just a lovely day. Just a dude out leaving Chicago and gonna go check out a new international city. I love tea, I love Japan. I'm gonna love this place.
Originally built for the World's Fair in 1894, the Japanese tea gardens are a staple of San Francisco's Golden Gate Park.
All right, we are at the Japanese tea gardens. It's a real serene spot. It's beautiful. I used to live in Japan and would go to these kind of spots all the time. So relaxing. Let's take a little walk around. I'm gonna come down off this insane bridge and walk around with you. Let's do it. It's easy. It's easy to get down. It's not steep at all. I'm a huge koi fish guy. Fucking love them. I love koi fish. In fact, I have a tattoo of a koi fish. You want to see it? Wrong arm. Still this one after all these years. These kind of bushes, I don't know what kind of trees they are, but they're some of my favorite just because of the amount of time and effort that it would take to shape all of those. I mean, each individual spot looking absolutely perfect. If you're a Karate Kid guy, it's like a bonsai tree, I think, but just a little bit bigger. Beautiful. The things that they do here and how they are so meticulous with the plants, it's incredible, really. Beautiful spot. Can't go to the Japanese tea garden without getting a little bit of udon noodles. Should have blew those off. I steamed my glasses. 8.5 out of 10. I'm probably bumping it up like one point because it's in the tea garden, but otherwise pretty good. Way better than instant ramen. Maybe the first ever Barstool Sports green tea review. 2 sips, everybody knows the law. That's a 9.5 out of 10. That is delicious. For a southern boy like me, there's 2 things in Japanese culture that really reminds me of the South. 1 is sweet green tea. 2 is edamame. And I know you might be thinking, edamame, why? Because that's essentially the same thing as boiled peanuts. Boiled peanuts are southern edamame and vice versa in Japan. Edamame is boiled peanuts. Simple as that. We got fountains, we got people reading, people riding bikes, people doing yoga, and people doing Tai Chi. I'm not a Tai Chi expert, so I'm not sure 1,000% that's Tai Chi, but I would bet my fucking life that that's Tai Chi. And they look amazing doing it. Look at them, the balance, the charisma, the confidence. We could all learn a little something from those fellas. And ladies. Nothing but Zen, baby.
You can get into all 3 of these places by buying just 1 ticket. The Botanical Garden is home to over 8,000 species of plants, and although we didn't have time to fully take in all 3 of these, definitely make sure you check them out.
Whatever happened to predictability? The milkman, the paperboy, the evening TV. This old familiar friend, waiting just around the bend. Everywhere you look, there's a place for somebody who needs you. You gotta sing it when you're in San Francisco. Shout out Danny Tanner. Actually, R.I.P. Bob Saget. Gone but not forgotten, especially not by me. So we are at the Painted Ladies. As you can see, it's in, so many iconic movies. I've seen them before, and I gotta be honest, like when we were rolling through, there's a lot of different Painted Ladies, if we're calling houses ladies, that are way more beautiful than those particular ladies. Like I've saw several that are around here. That house is infinitely more attractive than that bitch-ass painted lady. Look at this guy. This guy is cute too. What a handsome little fella that is. They're all faded. They're not even brightly painted. How much is the cheapest painted lady? I'm gonna wait 5 seconds. You see if you know. The cheapest one is $2.4 million, which I think I would have guessed way more, just because if a house has a name, it's usually gonna be really expensive. Shout out to the Shining Hotel.
Another iconic house in San Francisco is 710 Ashbury, formerly owned by Jerry Garcia and the birthplace for the legendary band known as the Grateful Dead.
This is where the Grateful Dead first formed. I would imagine that when Jerry Garcia and the fellas did it, it wasn't nearly as expensive it is right now. I can't imagine living in a house that everybody comes, takes stupid ass videos like this one in front of, but this is the Jerry Garcia house.
Almost every major city has a Chinatown, but San Francisco's is one of the most famous. But to get there, we took a quick detour through Lombard Street, which is known as the crookedest street in the world.
That's ridiculous. You can't even see like the front of your car. I don't know why, but I feel a little nervous. Like going up this road. Jeez, dude. Who thinks that like this? Yeah, this is definitely where we need to put a road. Cool view though. Living on this road would be an absolute nightmare, dude. How could you possibly see if somebody's back at, like whenever somebody's coming down your road? You'd get hit like almost every day. All right, so we're here for our next spot. We just stopped in Chinatown. It is 1:46. We got to get our car by 3:30. So we're just gonna do a little goofing around here, see what Chinatown has to offer. I've always heard that San Francisco's Chinatown is one of the best in the country. And if the smell in the air is any indicator, it smells delicious. Shout out Maggie, she told us about this spot. It's the Golden Gate Fortune Cookie Factory. We're about to get, oh my God, I just got hit with the smell. It smells good. Let's see if they'll Let us go in. All right, so he's saying that I could write a message on the fortune cookie paper and I'll put it in. So I'm gonna make one for my wife. I'll show you what it says.
Sexy?
Yeah.
Sexy message?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, you know how it is. Let's go.
Sexy man.
I am. That's what people say about me all the time. I'm a very sexy man. Fancy a fuck. So we're getting the VIP treatment. He's taking us to the back.
You want to write a message to your supporter?
I did. I did.
Wait,
Yeah.
Wait, now. I'm going to make you do one.
Okay.
Watch me.
All right.
How many can you do a minute?
Probably on that one.
Be honest.
Probably 3.
3 a minute.
Yeah.
3 a minute.
Yeah. Is that not good?
Watch me.
Okay.
1,
Oh wow.
2,
Okay.
3, 4, 5, 6 a minute or more.
Okay.
Now you said 3, right?
Yes.
You gotta beat me, man.
All right.
Let's go.
So I just grab it.
Yep.
Is it crazy hot? Oh my God, your hands are like,
1.
it's like so hot.
Going the wrong way, man.
What do you mean? Oh shit. Terrible.
Now one more, okay?
One more.
Here.
Okay.
No, that's too late.
Too late.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Pick this one.
Pick that one. It's so hot. Ah! Oh my God, it's so hot. How are you doing that? Holy shit.
Okay, wow. Show them that. You gotta show your audience.
Good, right?
This is perfect.
Let's go. When I tell you that they're like, that's basically a waffle iron that they're taking it off, and you have to slide your fingers. I didn't want to, I'm a Marine for Christ's sake. I didn't want to cry like a little bitch, but I was close to putting a diaper on. Real close.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
You try take a picture?
Yeah.
Yeah, sit down. Then finger is
Like a violin?
on the bottom.
Ah. Okay.
Good. Yeah, good. Smart, smart.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, so we were hanging out with the Chinese violin guy, the yo-yo ma of that street corner, I guess. And the lady came up to us and said, do we want to go check out this balcony? We did. We had the most mid pork buns that I've ever had. Now listen, this is a phrase that the kids say often. I don't know if I've ever had the definition of mid before. We've got it. We walked out of there paying like $50 after being in there for maybe 45 seconds. Overall, we got absolutely swindled, but you know what? I fucking love it. Swindle me, baby. Take me over, bend me over, and swindle me, daddy. I love it.
On the recommendation of Goldfinger's dad, we stopped by Buena Vista just outside Fisherman's Wharf, which is famous for introducing the U.S. to Irish coffee.
All right, so we are here at the Buena Vista. It's in San Francisco. It is the home of the world's famous Irish coffee. Some are saying it's the first Irish coffee. I'm not typically a big Irish coffee guy, but this looks like an absolute creamer. Shout out my guy Wonton. Motherfucker, that is good, dude. The cream on top is so like smooth and it's cold. The coffee is hot, so like the combination just makes it like go. This fucks. Like when I said that the pork buns were mid, I don't know if anything could be higher than this. I would say not only is it the best Irish coffee I've had, I'm gonna say I don't know if this is considered a cocktail. It's a top 3 cocktail I've ever had in my life. This is incredible. Shout out to Sam's dad. My God, this is good. All right, so we are here at Fisherman's Wharf now. They got adorable things like this, like the cocoa version of a seal, which I absolutely love. We're gonna see if we can actually find a seal, because I like to sing seal, Kiss from a Rose. It's a tradition that I have in San Francisco. I'm gonna keep that alive.
Fisherman's Wharf and Pier 39 are iconic for being a go-to spot for tourists, featuring authentic restaurants, quintessential San Francisco establishments.
Now, I know that in San Francisco, one of the main things people tell you to do is come down to Fisherman's Wharf. It's like got this vibe. It feels like downtown Disney in San Francisco. I mean, is there any reason why you need to have a specialty sock store? And it's not California related.
And beautiful sunset views. And it wouldn't be a tourist trap without a Ferris wheel.
We're in the air right now overlooking Fisherman's Wharf. This Ferris wheel's fucking dope. You can see everything. I couldn't recommend, I'm a Ferris wheel guy. I had no idea, but I gotta be honest and true to myself. I am a Ferris wheel guy. Ain't that just like the Lord? This is incredible. Absolutely incredible stuff.
As our day was coming to an end, it was time to serenade the seals with what I can only assume is their #1 favorite song.
Beautiful, beautiful sea lions sitting up there looking like seals. There used to be a greater tower alone on the field, and you remain my drum. That's the high and I there. But did you know that when it snows, my eyes become larger? The light that you shine can't be seen. Baby, I compare you to a kiss from a rose on a plane. Ooh.
All right, so this is where we're closing up shop. It's 8:15. We got to go back to the airport for a little bit, but this is a place called Twin Peaks. People said you got to come up here at night, and my goodness, they were right. Look how beautiful the city looks. We've had a great time in San Francisco. Now the only thing that we have left to do is honor my good friend and co-host Donnie. We need to take our rental car back and then go crush some fucking termies. Thanks for watching this episode of Daytripping.
The round trip flights from Chicago were $536. The car rental was $103. The tea garden was $27. The food at the tea garden was $25. The Buena Vista was $16. Fortune cookies, $5. Ferris wheel, that was $18. The Chinatown food that we got, that was $40. Thanks for watching. Our next day trip is already booked. We'll see you in Portland, Oregon.